What's going on, everybody? If it's Pokemon in pain, it's an AllForRon game. Oh, I am sorry that I did not check if my mic was on when I started episode 10 because I completed the whole video and I saved throughout the whole duration of the video and there was no audio. So this one's going to be a little different, right? I just included the more important parts that happened when I was recording, and I'm just going to kind of do like a voiceover, right? So again, I apologize, it's not what it originally is or what if you're expecting, but hopefully I still get through all the points that it's supposed to, right? Okay, so if you haven't gone to go check out the last video, go ahead and do that. I finished off that video by catching an Arceus, right? That was my electrode encounter here, and then I saved right there, and then I was finished. Okay. So when I started the video, I went and I beat the other two electrodes, which were a Flygon and a Wooper, and I'm so glad that I got the Arceus, right? I think the Flygon would have been dope too, but I'm glad I got the Arceus, right? And so the goal when I was doing the video was I want to face Pryce and I want to face Claire, right? So I jumped into Pryce Gym and I was thinking, okay, everybody's pretty much easy now. I have all the Pokemon. I have my Darkrai. I have an Arceus in the PC. It's gonna be easy for me. And then this chick sends out a Darkrai. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, right? I'm starting to jinx myself. But it ends up coming up pretty well, right? My Pokemon are pretty strong. And the Darkrai is pretty much no match. I beat it pretty easily, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm still doing pretty good. Now it's just about continuing. And then this chick has a Mew. So I really did jinx myself by saying I wasn't going to lose anymore, because I did say that in the video. I'm not going to lose. I'm going to win this Nuzlocke, this Racelocke, right? And then here, people are coming up with legendary mythical Pokemon. So this one actually, she gave me kind of trouble too, but because her Magmortar was also doing some damage. I ended up taking it out, right? I ended up taking it out, but it does a lot more than what I was expecting. And then I just go ahead and I faced the other trainer that's right there as well. He didn't have anything, so I didn't include it. But the goal was then to kind of heal up and then to kind of take on Pryce. And again, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but it was starting to be that I kind of jinxed myself slightly, and you'll see it throughout this whole video. Right? Pryce called himself the Winter Trainer. I just think he's just the retired Winter Soldier, right? But that's neither here nor there, right? He started off with a Blaziken, and I was thinking, dang, I started off pretty well because I put in Goldie. Goldie was the weakest at level 32. And when he bulked up, I was thinking, maybe he gets Sky Uppercut, and that's going to do some damage. And I was thinking that Surf was going to knock it out, but it didn't. But I was like, okay, he used the Hyper Potion, maybe I can get him to use the second Hyper Potion, because I'm pretty sure he has two, right? But I ended up just taking it out. Although that double kick for a second had me worried, but it didn't do anything, so I was like, that's fine. Right, and then his last Pokemon, actually his level cap was 34. His strongest Pokemon he sends out is a Kyogre, right? And I wasn't expecting that at all, right? So just in the first 4 or 5 trainers that I faced, I've ran into a Darkrai, I ran into a Mew, and I ran into a Kyogre. And so my fear was, I didn't know if he had like Ice Beam or Aurora Beam. I think it was too early for it to learn Ice Beam. So I was like, I should be okay by sending in Lil Nas. And so I think the trouble is, does it do so much damage to me? But it missed. It missed Muddy Water, so I was like, okay, I should be pretty good. But that did nothing. That Petal Dance I thought was going to do a lot more, didn't do anything. And that worried me because that was not very effective and yet it did so much damage. And I knew I couldn't bring back Little Nas because of the fact that of the pedal dance. But I got lucky. I got lucky that he went for Aqua Ring instead of another Muddy Water. And so I was like, okay, screw it. I lucked out there. But at this point, I'm thinking I'm kind of doing okay, right? Although these people have come up with some strong Pokemon, right? I've come out on top. So far, everything is going like how I'm expecting it to come out, right? And so when I beat Pryce, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta go take on Claire. But then I completely forgot you have to do the Team Rocket stuff back in Goldenrod, right? So I didn't think that was gonna take too long, but it ended up taking up the majority of the video. And that's where things start to go kind of wrong, right? It takes me a long time to go ahead and figure out what this guy's asking for, right? He's asking for, he don't want to let you in. He doesn't want to let you in, so you have to find like the uniform. And man, did that take me some time to find. Yeah, I actually had no idea where I was supposed to look. And so I was just entering random places. And then I finally just decided to go talk to everybody. And then you finally find I think the tunnel. I think he mentioned the tunnel, but I just completely ignored it. Right? So then I go ahead, you do this. He gives you the uniform. And Team Rocket is bad. But I started to think, not that bad. Look, he just told me I look pretty good in this, right? At least they're kind to their own people, right? To their own group, to their own organization. So I was like, how bad can they really be, right? But I'm over here disrespecting the uniform by putting the hat backwards and so forth, right? Yeah, it didn't take me until I talked to that guy in the corner who said something about the disguise in the underground. So, but I was like, okay, now I can finally do this, and I can just progress, right? I don't remember how this story goes. So I'm trying to remember as I play. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to go here, right? He tells me I look pretty good in the uniform too. I'm like, all right, that's fine with me. And then Lovebug shows up and messes up the whole thing, right? Completely messes it up. He botches it, right? He calls them cowards, and then he outs me. Look at this guy. Hey, are you cutie? Oh my gosh. And my first thought was, dude, just shut up. Shut up. Look at that. He takes off my uniform. Oh my gosh. I was there. He needs, oh my god. And then he just moves to the side and let that guy battle me. So all he did was just ruin my disguise. And then he leaves. That's it. He leaves. What a waste. All that time wasted for nothing. And this guy, I'm waiting for him to call me to battle, and he hasn't called me once. He just called me to talk about his feelings and his Nidoqueen and his Sizzle, right? But that guy's a weenie. He hasn't called me once to battle. Not once, right? So, but I'm thinking, okay, let me just continue, and I should be able to battle with the majority of these people, because I remember Claire is, I think her level cap's around 43. So I'm thinking it's pretty good for me to battle all these people. But he had 5 Pokemon, right? He had like a Skuntank, he had like some other stuff, but nothing too serious, nothing out of the ordinary. But Goldie was the strongest, so I was like, let me go ahead and switch Goldie for the Claw. And let me go ahead. Which was a bad move. Not the worst, but she had a Moltres, right? And Goldie would have been able to take it out with no issues. But whatever. But it did do some damage on the Claw which plays a factor into the later battles that I do, right? Oh. No issues on that end, but man, that was just bad. So I beat the next two trainers on the bottom. Remember that guy on the top. That Team Rocket member on the top. Remember that guy. So I go on the bottom and I face this guy who I don't think he had anything. Oh, he had a Noctowl, right? And I hate owls, right? So I'm glad I switched up Esdeath, and Esdeath, who I was hoping would one-shot it, didn't. But she humiliated it by freezing it. You see how happy I get? Yeah. I was so happy when that happened. I was so happy. I do not like Noctowl. I don't dislike Noctowl himself. I just don't like owls in general. Right. So I do that. I talk to the girl on the right, and I think she mentioned something about going to that the boss is locked in the director, right? 5th floor, something like that, right? And I thought that guy was somebody to be saved too, but apparently he's a Team Rocket member. So I fight this guy. What does he have? Oh yeah, I knock him out very easily with Magmortar, right? With it, and then I find out that that's Mary. That's Mary. That's who the quiz was talking about, but I had no idea who she is. Right? But I go ahead and I continue. I don't want to face those two guys just yet because I think my Pokemon are leveling up pretty quickly. But I thought, screw it, when I come back, I'll go ahead and I'll face them, right? And it was a good idea that I did not face him because this guy gave me trouble. The Petrel, the guy who looks like the guy from Tokyo Ghoul, the detective, the old guy. Right? He has 6 Pokemon, and I even say right there, right? And he started with the Milk Tank, which I didn't like, but luckily the Wake Up Slap somewhat did some good amount of damage actually. And then I was thinking, okay, I just need to hope it doesn't have something crazy. I think Rollout, it gets Rollout too, unless it got rid of it. But I completely knocked it out. Right, so I was okay with that. Yeah, he has some pretty strong Pokemon, right? Luckily, I was able to, like I said, do some pretty good damage, but he just threw me in for a loop. I didn't see his next Pokemon coming. I didn't know how to handle it, right? But that takedown did a lot more than what I had anticipated. And so that plays into a factor a little bit later too. But I think his next Pokemon is the Weavile, if I'm correct. No, Coughing. Sorry, my bad. But the Coughing himself, oh man, I was so scared of self-destruct. I didn't know if it carried it. I didn't know if it had explosion yet, right? But so far, I've been facing a lot of Pokemon that had explosion, self-destruct, right? So I said, let me just send out it. It can knock it out in one fire punch. But he got paralyzed, and that threw a wrench in the plans that I had. So I was like, okay, I need to knock it out. I don't know if he has self-destruct or explosion. I was counting on it to be able to take it out, but because it's so weak, I'm just going to change it, right? So I was like, okay, I can knock it out here with Night Slash. I think the crit helped, but at this point I didn't care. As long as I was getting those. The Weavile threw me in for a loop. I didn't have a clean switch into anything, and it was too hurt. So I said I need to bring out Beerus, but Beerus doesn't have anything. Beerus doesn't have anything to hurt it. So I said, maybe, what if I go ahead and I try to use like a poison jab on the Weavile? And tell me why that crossed my mind. But it was so dumb of me to think that Gliscor can outspeed Weavile. It was so dumb. I'm even thinking that at the moment. Right? It was so dumb for me to think about it and to believe that Gliscor cannot speed it. But I said, okay, this is alright, because it gives me a clean switch into Beerus. And I said, okay, I need to go for the Omni Boost. Right? I need to get the Omni Boost, and it should come up right now. And it did not. And when he nasty plotted, I was like, oh my gosh, he's +2. I said, okay, I need to go for it again. This time, it comes out. And it does not. So he's +4, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm pretty much screwed. None of that is doing damage at all. I need to hope for the Omni Boost here. And this time, it doesn't come out, and he Icy wins. And that did not as much damage as I thought it would, but it still scared me because I had nothing to hurt it. Nothing whatsoever. And my speed was lower. So I was thinking if he does it 3 more times, I'm screwed. But he went for Fury Swipes and he got 4. Right? That still did a lot of damage. I was thinking I'm screwed here. I'm screwed. I did so much damage, and Icy Wind is basically gonna end me right here. It's gonna end Beerus, and I have nothing to beat it because every other one of my Pokemon are too slow. But for some reason it goes for Feint Attack, and I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. And I lucked out here with the crit. That was lucky. If I lose Beerus there, I lose the run. I lose it. Right? So he sends out the Lickitung, and I'm thinking of sending out S-Death, but I'm thinking it also has Lick. So I'm like, I'd rather just send out Lil Nas, who's at full health, and go ahead and just end it here. Although I should have taught it Mega Drain to get some health back, but I still completely forget to do that. Right? But I'm thinking it's fine. I don't want to lock myself into Petal Dance right here with the Disable, just in case his other Pokemon is like a Grass type or something that's, not very effective to Grass. But yeah, so I'm thinking, let me just go ahead and finish this up, right? But if I had lost Beerus, to finish that thought, if I had lost Beerus, it was pretty much over. It was over from there, right? So he tells me I have to go back to the Goldenrod Tunnel to go do what I have to do. And I'm thinking I just need to, I need to get out, right? I need to heal the poison from it. So I do that, and I just need to take off, right? So the goal was to just go, heal, and then kind of go to the Goldenrod Tunnel. I knew I didn't face those guys, so I just skipped them. I'll come back and face them. And I completely forgot that I skipped this guy. And that hurt me. That hurt me. Cargo, and I was thinking, dang it, I need to switch out to Goldie. I know Goldie's weak. Oh, damn. Whoa. I know Goldie's weak. But she's my best bet. Right? And that was a crit. And that crit mattered. Right? So I knew water was 4 times effective. I'm gonna knock out the Cargo easily. And the unknown, I was like, okay, I can easily knock this out too. Surf 1-shots. Right? So it was, I think, his last 2 Pokemon that I think scared me. Right? Particularly the Tauros. And I was like, okay, he's probably gonna go for Horn Attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch out to S-Death. This is the time I wanted to play that Ghost. But he goes for Pursuit and gets the crit! Oh my gosh! And I lose my starter. We lose our starter there. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I shouldn't have faced this person to begin with. I'm I should have remembered that I didn't face him. But I don't know, luckily the wake up slap did a lot more damage the second time I did it when it was asleep, so. But I didn't expect to lose the starter, right? So that one hurt. And then he decides to go for the protect. I was like, alright, just you're delaying the inevitable here, let me just do it again. Right? And he gets a double protect. Oh my gosh. These guys have strats for days. Right? So whatever, I bring it back and I use Meganium to knock it out, right? But that was pretty much the entirety of the video. I did not expect to lose 2 Pokemon, right? Particularly my starter and the Claw, right? I didn't know how long the Claw was gonna live, but I wanted to keep it alive as much as possible. I did not see our starter going away here, and that hurt. That hurt me real bad. And I don't know. I saw myself going all the way to Claire, but that didn't happen, and I ended up losing 2 Pokemon in this video, right? So now I need to kind of rearrange the team. I don't know if I'm going to keep all the same ones that I have now. I need to see what fits. Maybe reorganize the team. Like I say in the video, my team is not built for bulk. Like, this was a very fragile team. They weren't gonna live hits, and that's exactly what happened, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm just gonna figure out who works and who doesn't, right? Rearrange the team. Hopefully it's better, and go from there, right? It's Pokemon in Pain. It's an AllForRon game. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.